I decided to tell you a story about this wealthy young man who decided to go on a safari to Africa. He brought his faithful pet, Dachshund, along for company. One day there in the midst of Africa, out in the safari, his tiny little dog started chasing butterflies. And before long, Dachshund decides, well, he's lost. As he's wandering about, he notices a leopard that's bearing down rapidly, right in his general direction with the obvious intention of having him for lunch. Dachshund thinks, okay, I'm in deep trouble now. All of a sudden, he noticed some bones on the ground real close to him. And immediately he settled down to chew on the bones with his back to the approaching cat. Just as the leopard is about to leap, the Dachshund exclaims loudly, "Boy, that was one delicious leopard. I wonder if there are any more around here." Hearing this, the leopard halts his attack in mid-stride as a look of terror comes over him and he slinks away into the trees. Says the leopard, "That was close. That Dachshund nearly had me." Meanwhile, a monkey who had been watching the whole scene from a nearby tree figures he can put this knowledge to good use and trade it for protection. So off he goes. The Dachshund saw him heading after the leopard with great speed and figured something was about to go down. The monkey caught up with the leopard, told the whole story, and strikes a deal for himself with the leopard. The leopard will no longer attack the monkey. The leopard is furious at being made a fool and says, "Here, monkey, hop on my back and see what's going to happen to that conniving canine." The Dachshund sees the leopard coming with the monkey on his back and thinks, "What am I going to do now?" But instead of running, the dog sits down with his back to his attackers, pretending he hasn't seen them yet. Just when they get close enough to hear, what does the Dachshund say? "Where's that darn monkey? Sent him off a half an hour to go bring me another leopard."
Now, John Vogel's going to come out and visit again for a second while we prepare for the next act here. Come on out, Mr. Vogel.
So I have a short little story about a certain fisherman up in the Sierra Nevadas, a pristine, untouched mountain lake way up in the hills. It takes hours to hike up there. So on a certain morning, this anonymous fisherman is coming down about midday, a fairly good little trot, coming down this mountain path between this, meandering stream coming from this pristine mountain lake. He's got a pail in his right hand. In his pail, he's got several beautiful rainbow trout sitting in the pail. He meets a game warden hiking up the trail. Game warden says, "What do you got in that pail?" Guy thinks real quick and says, "I got my pet fish." He goes, "Your pet fish? What do you mean your pet fish?" And the guy goes, "Well, I've raised these since these were a little small fry, and come up here, cleanest water I know. Come up here and give them some good exercise. Get them, get that good, nice, clean water." Game warden says, "Yeah, right." Guy goes, "Well, would you like me to give you a demonstration?" Game warden says, "Yeah, but I'd like to see this." So they hike back up 45 minutes up this steep 45 degree. Just a tough hike. They get up to the mountain, get there to the shore. Game warden says, "Now what?" Guy goes, "Well, normally I come up here, twice a week, and I gently lower them here into the water, let them swim around for about 5 to 10 minutes, and blow on my fish whistle, and get the fish to come back." Game warden says, "Okay, let's see this." Guy gets down on his hands and knees and goes, "Okay, here you go, little guys. Let's go swim, and you come back to Papa, okay?" And he puts him in the water and puts the pail right next to him, puts his hand in his pocket, starts looking around. Doesn't do a thing. Game warden nudges him and says, "Let's get those fish back." The guy turns and looks at him and says, "What fish?"
Once again, Mr. Vogel's going to come up and entertain us.
Okay, I'll try one. See how this one goes. Graduation is coming up here rather shortly. And not just high school graduation, 8th grade graduation, but also college graduation. Reminds me of a story of an engineer student fresh out of Stanford. Graduated, top of his class, thinks he's a pretty smart guy. So he goes in all brash, all confident, not only in himself, but in his skills and what he can bring to the company. He goes into the job interview. Fresh, straight A's, engineer, top of his class. Goes into the job interview. Interviewer says, well, let's get things started here. I don't like to beat around the bush too much. Let's just start talking money. What salary are you looking to make there, son? The engineer says, well, about $150,000 a year, depending on the benefits package that I get. Interviewer says, well, how about 5 weeks paid vacation? 2 weeks holiday, full medical, full dental. How about a 2-year lease on a red Corvette? Engineer could hardly believe himself. He jumped up out of his seat and he said, you gotta be kidding me. And the interviewer said, well, of course I am, but you started it.
Okay, Mr. Vogel's come out to talk to us one more time. Here, Mr. Vogel.
I think you all noticed a new recent addition we have had here at the school. Mr. Sully now is able to control the roaming student population at will with the sound of bells. We'll use that tonight to get everybody in here. Reminds me of a story I had heard growing up. I'm not sure how true it is or not. Let's see what you think of it. It was about 200 years ago in Italy. Country noted for its beautiful churches, beautiful sounds of bells pealing through the hills. This one poor town had the unfortunate situation of no professional bell ringers. So they put out a notice to all the surrounding countryside that all available bell ringers come and apply at the church, try out for the job. Well, Father was sitting in his office one day and a porter comes up and says, Father, you'll never believe it, but there's a man here with no arms and he wants to apply for our bell ringer's position. The Father gets rather interested in this and he goes down to the young man and he says, what makes you qualified to ring our bell in the beautiful chapel? And the young man with no arms says, well, I was able to ring the bell at the door, was I not? Well, you do have a point there. Well, let's go try it. So they climb up the steeple. Get to the top and the Father watches the young man and gets back about 5 steps, gets a full run, and wow! Hits the bell right with his head. Dong! Dong! Beautiful bells pealing. Goes back, another 5 steps, runs, hits it with his forehead, glances off the side, off the bell tower, down, plummets to his death. Father is just aghast, runs down, hovers over the body, a crowd is gathered, hearing the beautiful bells, seeing this calamity that's just occurred, and he says, does anybody recognize this young man? One person standing by there says, no, but his face rings a bell.